Welcome back to the Dude Foodie Network, the burgeoning food empire. Today we're making tequila lime shrimp burgers. Tequila lime shrimp burgers. Feels like a festive thing to do. We're in good spirits here. There's quite a few ingredients. First we'll make a marinade. Then we'll make the shrimp burgers, fry them up, and then we have our mayo sauce that we make for the sandwich itself. So first things first, we're going to dive into the marinade. In here already, we have 3 tablespoons of tequila. And if I'm looking down, I'm not being rude. I'm not a rude person. There's so many ingredients. I got to check them out. All right, so in here we already have 3 tablespoons of tequila. We need 3 tablespoons of olive oil. And if you're averse to using tequila, just leave the tequila out. There's a reason to cook with alcohol molecularly. I'm not sure I'm qualified to say molecularly. Alcohol binds to both fat and to water. And so with olive oil in here, it binds to that quite well as a marinade. And it will add complexities to the flavoring that you don't always get by omitting it. But we're not, pushing any particular alcoholic consumption on this channel. We do cook with it an awful lot, though. So 3 tablespoons of tequila, 3 tablespoons olive oil. Then we have half a teaspoon of ground coriander. And then we're going to just zest up a lime. And the lime is pretty powerful in its flavor, so you don't necessarily need a ton of it. A teaspoon's probably good. We're going to also add lime or a touch of lime into the mayo. So depending on your love of lime and things that are lime flavored, that's pretty good there. So around a teaspoon of it should be good. And it adds amazing aroma already. Zesting it like that, you start releasing some of the oils. So zest of a lemon, garlic, 2 teaspoons garlic powder, 1 1/4 teaspoons chili powder. And again, there's me with a 1/4 teaspoon. It's probably a half. Just get close, you'll learn to taste it. We have a half a teaspoon of ground coriander, like I said, already in there. A pinch of ground oregano. This is actually, we dry it from our garden. So if you buy oregano, 1/4 teaspoon about will be good of oregano. Black pepper, 1/4 teaspoon. For this, we didn't have any honey. We did have some simple syrup. So normally you would do 2 teaspoons of honey. We'll just do a teaspoon-ish of simple syrup. You can do a pinch of sugar. Honey is probably preferable. So there you have it. Olive oil, tequila, lime zest, garlic, ground chili, ground coriander, oregano, kosher salt, black pepper, and honey. And I just like to put it in a mason jar and give it a good shake. Other ingredients you can substitute into here. Instead of ground coriander, you can do cumin. That will be just fine as well. Now the shrimp we will put into a Ziploc bag and pour the marinade over. And this is a pound of shrimp. This marinade probably will work up to about 1.5 pounds or 2 pounds should be fine for that amount of marinade. And if you really wanted to stretch it, you probably could even go higher than that. And all you want to do is get the shrimp well coated. Now, you can also use this marinade for chicken, pork. It's an absolutely outstanding marinade for a lot of those. If you use it on beef or chicken, you can actually put it in the marinate it for 4 to 6 hours. With shrimp, You know, a half hour to 2 hours is probably plenty. Shrimp's a little bit more delicate. So I'm going to throw this in the fridge really quick. All right, the shrimp is in the fridge, and we're going to make up just a quick, simple mayonnaise spread. And this, the actual measurements don't matter how much you're going to use, you know. We're going to make 3 burgers today with that pound of shrimp. So enough to spread on 3. And then, what do we have? Chipotle peppers and adobo sauce. And all we're looking for is the adobo sauce to season that. It gives it a very rich, I would say warm feel to it. Give that a good stir. I would also add a little squeeze of lime into that. You can omit that. Lemon would also be fine. And just a sprinkle of garlic. Okay. Now in all these, after you've added your seasonings and flavorings, you just want to give it a quick taste. Just a shade more adobo. Oh, that is good. Gives a warm. Adobo, those chili, adobo chilies are really good in that adobo sauce. So there is our spread for the shrimp burgers. And we are now ready to actually make the shrimp burgers themselves. So through the miracle of time, it's been a solid 2 hours. Or we made this up 2 hours ago. Doesn't matter, right? They've been marinating for whatever the specified period of time is. Now, I'm going to take the shrimp out, put them in a bowl, because we're going to take the shrimp and split it in 2. Half the shrimp is going into the processor to be ground into a much finer, really finely ground shrimp. The other half will be coarsely chopped, and I'll talk more about that in a sec. So we eyeball it, and what we're just doing here is making sure that we don't end up with all the liquid from the marinade. So we're moving the shrimp from the marinade, and there will be some liquid that comes with it. That's just fine. And man, this already smells absolutely awesome. All right, so that's probably half of it. We'll move over to the food processor here and get the rest of it into there. We have a half a cup of yellow onion in here. Your favorite onion works fine. If you like a multiplicity of onion flavors, if you're an onion connoisseur, you can do a 1/4 cup of red onion and a 1/4 cup of yellow or white to split it between the 2. We on hand just had the white onion, so we went half a cup of white onion. So we have half a pound of shrimp here in the food processor and half a pound of shrimp over there in the bowl. The rest of the marinade then will be discarded. Now, the reason why we blend up half the shrimp and we're going to roughly chop the other half is it gives a really nice texture to the burger itself. So you have different levels of processing in the shrimp. We're just rough chopping the shrimp up here. Nothing too fancy. So there's the rough chop on the shrimp. Set that in the sink. Now we'll do the blend of the shrimp burgers. So we have the onion in there. We have the whole marinated shrimp. You can also put in your favorite peppers. A little bit of jalapeno. That's generally not my favorite for something like this. But you can use green pepper, red pepper, yellow pepper raw in there. We actually have, from our garden, some roasted red pepper, which roasted red pepper with shrimp is unbelievable in its flavor and its richness. So we put in about a 1/4 cup of roasted red pepper. And you can buy roasted red pepper in the store too. It certainly doesn't need to come from your garden. It's rarely available in grocery stores, and it's packed in an oil like we have packed here as well. And then lastly, for some heat, we have a pepper plant here that is, well, this has got a couple really warm ones. These are, I don't know, 250,000 Scovilles, something like that. Is that hot? Is 250 hot? 250 is hot? All right, well, this is about 250. We are going to chop these up and drop them in the shrimp as well. If you want to tame it down, you would cut it open a little differently and deseed it. We're going to go with it. We like things a little spicy around here. Into the processor it goes. So, simple. Shrimp, onion, your favorite peppers, and any sort of heat that you would like to add. And now this we are going to take into a very fine grind. So you see it doesn't take long and you end up with a ground paste, if you will. So that's the shrimp grind. Now we're going to toss in our roughly chopped, get the blade out of there. And we're going to start heating up the pan. And we want this to get pretty screaming hot because we want the shrimp to sear nicely in the pan. All right. So you get in there with your fingers. It gets a little goopy, gets a little messy. But that's, if you're not willing to get dirty, you're not willing to cook. All right, so we're not above making mid-video adjustments. Here's the thing. I had mentioned as we're putting it together, you do not need breadcrumbs to make a shrimp burger. And you don't. A lot of it's going to depend on if you're cooking on a cast iron pan. But what we found out is the red peppers that I added had a little more oil than is typically we put in. So if you put in dry green peppers, dry yellow peppers, you don't have the same amount of liquid as you're doing when you're doing some roasted red peppers. And that oil made the burger a little bit harder to stay together. Now, if you want to take a look, here's what the burger looked like. It still came out fine. A little piece broke off, I made it fit. But the shrimp burger worked just fine. Stayed together, you have a burger, right? But we're going to try this again a second way. And, you know, this is stuff you do when you're cooking. You make those adjustments. Sometimes you follow a recipe completely and it doesn't look the way you want it to look. Hey, go to the pantry. Let's call an audible. We're going to throw in about 1/4 to 1/2 cup of breadcrumbs to help with the oil that was added from the roasted red pepper. So, and you're going to judge this by eyeball. Is it giving you the ground beef, ground chicken type of consistency? If not, add a little bit more. And you just do a little bit because honestly, we got the burger to work without it. But we are seeing if this makes a difference in terms of how easy it was to actually make the patty and cook it up. So, mixed with our fingers, it's got that right feel. Make a nice burger patty out of it. All right, everyone knows how to make that burger patty. Oil looks hot. In the shrimp burger goes. Okay. Now, you want these to get almost a crust on them. So they're gonna, a good hot pan, probably 5 minutes to get the right crustiness going. I'm gonna gently give that a slide over because we're gonna get another one in there. Next shrimp burger in. There we go. Of shrimp burgers.
This is definitely going to be a hard cut.
Yeah. Yep. All right, so we've been about 5 minutes, and the burger's set up really nice. Nice crust on the shrimp burger. Well, depending on how it comes through, that's kind of a char that you are looking for in a shrimp burger there. So 5 minutes on the one side, 4 to 5 minutes depending on your pan, and then about 2 to 3 minutes on the other side, making sure it's all the way cooked through. Once it's cooked through, we'll build our sandwich. All right, so the burger's about ready to come off. So we're going to dress the buns here. Generous spread of the chipotle, lime, garlic, mayo. The chipotle mayo is fine. Okay. Now, other options would have been guacamole or simply a slice of tomato, slice of lettuce, or a leaf of lettuce. Oh, those look good. Those look nice. So, sometimes you gotta call an audible. The mixture was a little too loose. Added the breadcrumbs, that's good. Typically we don't make these with breadcrumbs, but that's what life's all about, making the adjustments. So, let's take a bite of this. The smell is so good. You smell the cilantro. I mean, ground coriander comes from the cilantro plant. So we smell the cilantro, we smell the lime, the garlic. Ready, Jacob? Mm-hmm. There's yours. Here's mine. Paper towels ready? Nah. Here we go. Tequila lime shrimp burgers. Sometimes I just think, why do I cook so good? Why am I so good at this? Oh, so I'm going to put a little bit more. You get the warmth of the chili peppers we put in there. You get a slow, smoky warmth of the chipotle mayo. The good crisp of the shrimp burger by a good sear on the pan. You know, the difficult part of this is trying to think up, right, movie clips now that adequately express what's going on in my head. Let me see, one more bite and we'll call it quits.
Delivers. Pocket swings and hits a blast. Deep left center. Way back. Way back. It's gone. The Twins go to the 7th game. Touch 'em all, Kirby Puckett. Touch 'em all.
That is so good. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for hanging out for a few minutes. Even sometimes when we have to change course in a recipe, it's good to go. Don't forget, like, comment, subscribe, share. We're trying to grow this vast food empire. Have a great weekend. We'll catch you on the next one.